Hi everybody, it's Danny Joe here. Um, so I am in the process of, we just moved in and um, I don't know, the last painting I did was the first painting I did in the new place. So there's a lot of adjusting going on and it's kind of hard to paint right now. So bear with me. I'm probably not going to be posting every week for a little bit. There might be a gap. But I will eventually get back on track once we get everything set up and everything. So this is the room that is going to become my studio for now. Eventually we're actually going to build an outbuilding that has a workshop for my husband and a little studio area for myself. But for now this is a spare bedroom. So this is what it looks like. Yeah, I just threw a table in here real quick. And it did have really nice carpet, but I know that I'm going to be messy. And even if I lay down a drop cloth, it's going to get messy. And so I just decided that I would rip up the carpet. And there's nice concrete. So it's just concrete. I'm going to paint the walls. Right now they're kind of this light green color. I'm going to paint them just solid white. And so it'll be nice and bright in here with the concrete floor. It's climate controlled. You see it has drop ceiling, which is nice. And it has this closet. So I will put some shelves in there. I'll put all my canvases and all my paints. And I'm super excited about this. Like I was painting, this is down in a basement, but it's not the same as the basement I was in before. The basement I was in before had like unfinished walls and holes in the walls, so like bugs were getting in, and it was just not as nice as this. So this is gonna be super nice. I think I'm gonna hang some like picture frame tracking here and like hang some art, and so then I'll be like up here and you guys will get to see all my paintings in the background, and I'm super excited, guys. I have this nice view too. So I'm excited for what's to come. There's just kind of a delay right now, kind of taking it slow as we get other things organized first. But I just wanted to keep you guys updated. I also have a video here of how I set up my table, because I did quickly set up my table last week to get that one painting in. And so I'll show you how I set up my space. But that'll be right after this. So thanks so much for still watching. I appreciate all the support, and I'll be back at a more steady pace probably in 2 or 3 weeks. So thank you. Bye. Hi everybody. So I did have a break here in my videos. It's been about a week since I've posted anything. I actually moved. And you can see here, this is a spare bedroom. Eventually we're going to get either probably concrete temporarily until I can move out of here into like a outbuilding. But I'm going to show you how I set up my area for pour painting. Since this is a brand new space, I brought in my table. It's a folding table. Not everybody, would be able to have a folding table. Whatever table you have will do. So first thing I did is, and I should mention that you want to make sure that it's away from vents. So there is a vent over here on the other side of the room, and I'm trying to close it. So it should be minimal drafting, because that movement of air does make the top layer of your paint dry faster and possibly crack. It says if the top gets rigid and dries, but the bottom is still contracting and drying, it will crack. So you want to make sure that you eliminate airflow, if possible, while it's drying. So I'm on the other side of the room. I'm going to close the vent. That should be good. Second thing I do is I get my level. Now, I'm going to be checking it twice. So first I'm going to check my table, and see that it's level. And then you also want to check your canvas, right, where it's going to be resting to dry. So you'll want to check that again to make sure that that's a level space. So that, in that direction, it's level. And then I'm going to turn it this way to check if it's level this way. And it is almost level. I am going to put a couple little pieces of cardboard or something under the back legs to help level that out. Alright, I added a couple pieces of thin cardboard. And you can see it's within those black lines. So that is good enough for me. My paint is pretty thick, so it will try to stay in place. More so if it was closer to the consistency of water, it would spread and drip and morph a lot easier. The next thing I do is I get a pack of these relatively inexpensive drop cloths from Home Depot or any kind of hardware store. And they're like super thin plastic, but it's perfect because all I want it to do is protect the table. I have been using this same process for years, and occasionally, due to just the age of the plastic and what I'm doing when I'm cleaning up, there have been a couple leaks. You can see just a few spots, but I mean, it's kept this table in relatively good condition for years. And so I just put this down and cover the table, and then I'll show you what I do next. Okay, drop cloth is down. This is where I'm going to pack all my supplies. Next thing I do is I get wax paper from the dollar store, and I will put down, depending on the size of the paintings I'm doing. If I'm doing a lot of paintings, I might cover like the whole top. If I'm just doing one painting, I'll just put down a few pieces in the center just to cover the area that the painting is going to be in, which that's what I'm going to do today. So let me lay this down here. I'll tell you that I kind of like overlap the edges of it a little bit, so I'll show you here in a second. Okay, so here is the area of the wax paper. Now, the reason I do this, so the drop cloth here is to protect the table long term, and it will always stay until something happens, if I tear it or it's just I deem it too dingy, but it will stay here to protect the table for a very long time. So this isn't going to be getting replaced frequently. This gets replaced frequently. So if I do 2 or 3 paintings on this, and I can let the paint dry, and then I can just roll it up and dispose of it. Or some people like to save the drippings if you're using like in the same color family and it mixes together to make a nice shade of blue, or it doesn't make muddy color. Or even if you made a muddy color, you might want a neutral painting. But some people like to scrape their paint. So I would if I did that, I've done that before, I would put like my container here and I would just scrape with a spatula that paint into this container and then mix it up, put a top on it, save it for later. And also this is thin enough that, as long as it didn't crinkle too bad, I have been able to save some pieces to make jewelry. So or you could do scrapbook or do some sort of collage with it, but it dries pretty nicely for disposing or for crafting. So that's why I like to put down this wax paper underneath as well. Okay, so let me show you how I prop up my paintings. Everybody has their own preferable way. I'll show you mine here. Let me get them just a second. So I'm going to grab a canvas to sit on the table, and I'm getting my stuff out, and I wanted to show you how I packed my paintings. I tried to mimic, so when I order them from Michael's or whatever store you order from and they ship them to you, they come like this, packed really tightly together on their sides. And sometimes they'll have like some separators between them, probably to help any pokes from happening. So I tried to mimic that. I crammed them all the same sizes here so that their corners would not poke into each other's canvas. So the same size. I ordered some glassine paper. Now that is a little pricey, but I figured it was worth it. I'm also going to use it if I do end up shipping long distance to separate or protect the face of the painting. But I cut some glassine paper and just put it in between the paintings. So that's how I packed them, and I packed them tight. So here I had one extra like space here in the corner, and I had some like doggy piddle pads to put, and I just stuffed it here in the corner so that it held everything in place. So like I can shake this, and they don't move. So everything seems to be safe and sound. Some of the larger ones I just did individually. You can see over there, they're just covered, and I kind of babysat those in my lap. But, yeah, so that's how I packed it up. Let me get it over onto the table. Alright, so here's my canvas, 16 by 20 inches. I like to use these little Dixie cups. And they're paper, and they have a smooth bottom. No grooves or anything in there, so paint like scrapes. I can use these for mixing as well, so dual purpose here. And I just slide it there under the corner. I like to do it this way. Probably doesn't matter. Some people could put it like over here, but I like to do it on the corners like this. Alright, let's check and see if this is level here. Get my level out. Let's check it this way. Yep, that's good. So it looks like I might luck out. So a lot of times if you start with your foundation being level, and that's another reason I like to use these, if you use some kind of like reusable plastic pedestal thing, if there's any like paint buildup on there, it could make it uneven if you're using the same place you're painting for your drawing. So that's what I do. So, but if you don't, if you are going to move it to a separate area, maybe you could use these just for drawing, and then you use the reusables for your painting. That would probably be fine. But I like these because there's no paint buildup. It's not going to eventually get uneven. I know that they're all standard in the same height. So the only thing I have to account for is sometimes you might get a warped frame or something on your canvas that makes it a little uneven, and then I would just prop up like a popsicle stick or something underneath the edge of this just to level that out. Okay, so this way is level. Let's cross our fingers here and hope this way is level. Yay! Okay, we're good. We're in business. Okay, so that is how I prep my area. So I'll let you go. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for all my new fans and my super thanks. I really appreciate it. And so I'll try to get back here in the groove here, showing you guys some paintings. Thanks for watching.